After 3 years of paying for my younger sister's treatment, I overheard her tell friends on the phone, "My older sister, she's just a loser with no personal life, so she spends money on me out of boredom." That evening, I canceled all upcoming payments for her procedures. The next day, when she found her card declined at the clinic, she called me in a panic. "What's going on?" "The loser decided to spend money on her own boring life," I said, hanging up. "Now my sister works 3 jobs to pay for her treatment, and I use the saved money for travel. The last photo I sent my family was from Paris." No one replied, but I didn't expect them to. Important lessons are rarely pleasant. You know how they say blood is thicker than water? Well, sometimes blood relatives can be the most toxic people in your life, no cap. My story with my sister is one of those you won't believe this shit situations that'll make you rethink family loyalty real quick. It all started 3 years ago when my little sis, who's 4 years younger than me, got diagnosed with a chronic condition. Nothing life-threatening, thank God, but it required regular treatments, specialized medications, and quarterly checkups at this fancy clinic across town. The whole package came with a price tag that would make your eyes water, like buying a used Honda Civic every single year. At the time, I was crushing it at my job. I'd just landed this promotion at the tech company I'd been grinding at for 5 years. The salary bump was sweet, and for once, I had more money than I knew what to do with. When my parents called that family meeting to discuss how we'd handle my sister's medical bills, I didn't even hesitate. "I got this," I told them, seeing the worry lines on my dad's forehead. He'd been planning to come out of retirement to help cover the costs. "Dad, your retirement fund has taken enough hits. I can handle this." The relief on my parents' faces, man, that feeling was better than any bonus check I'd ever received. My sister hugged me tight, tears streaming down her face. "I'll pay you back someday," she promised. Fast forward through 3 years of me footing every single bill. We're talking about treatments, medications, even the Uber rides to and from appointments when she couldn't drive herself. I'd set up this special credit card just for her medical expenses, linked directly to my account. All she had to do was swipe, and I'd handle the rest. No questions asked, no guilt trips given. During those 3 years, I put a lot of my own life on hold. Vacation plans? Canceled. That down payment I was saving for a condo? Postponed. Dating life? Practically non-existent because between work and helping my sister coordinate her medical stuff, I barely had time to swipe on Tinder, let alone meet someone for drinks at Applebee's. But honestly, I was cool with all that. She was getting better, and that's what mattered. Family first, right? Then came that Tuesday afternoon that changed everything. I'd swung by my sister's apartment unannounced. I'd scored some tickets to this Taylor Swift concert she'd been dying to see, and I wanted to surprise her. Her apartment door was cracked open, and I could hear her laughing on the phone in her bedroom. I was about to call out when I heard my name. "Oh my God, no, I can't go to Cancun next month," she was saying, her voice all whiny. "You know my situation." There was a pause, then, "My older sister? She's just a loser with no personal life, so she spends money on me out of boredom. It's actually pathetic how much she hovers. Like, get your own life?" Another pause, then a laugh that felt like ice water down my back. "I know, right? But hey, as long as her credit card keeps working, I'm not complaining. Besides, it's not like she'd spend that money on anything fun anyway. Girl hasn't been on a date in like forever." I stood there, concert tickets crumpled in my fist, feeling like someone had just sucker punched me at a tailgate party. 3 years, thousands of dollars, countless nights worrying about her. And this was how she saw me? A pathetic loser financing her life out of boredom? I backed away from her door, got in my Jeep, and just sat there, blasting Florida-Georgia Line to drown out my thoughts. By the time Cruise hit the chorus for the 3rd time, I knew exactly what I needed to do. Updated, y'all, the support in these comments is blowing up my phone. For real, reading your stories about ungrateful siblings has me feeling less alone in this mess. Some of you asked if I confronted her right away. Nah, that's not my style. When someone shows you who they really is, you don't need a big dramatic scene, you just need to make moves. But here's what I'm wondering. Would you have walked right into that room and called her out on the spot? Or do you think my approach was better? That evening, I got on my laptop and canceled every automatic payment I had set up for her. Then I called the credit card company and reported her card lost, requesting they cancel it immediately. The customer service guy probably thought I was having a stroke because my voice was shaking so bad. "Are you sure you want to cancel this card, ma'am? It seems to be used regularly." Never been more sure of anything in my life, I told him. Next, I texted my parents. Nothing dramatic, just, "Heads up, I won't be covering Lisa's medical expenses anymore. She'll need to make other arrangements." Then I turned my phone off before they could call me. The next day around noon, my phone blew up with notifications. My sister was calling nonstop. When I finally picked up, she was in full panic mode. "What's going on?" "My card got declined at the clinic. They won't schedule my next treatment without payment." I took a deep breath and channeled all the chill I could muster. "The loser decided to spend money on her own boring life," I said, then hung up. Over the next few days, all hell broke loose. My parents called, my sister texted paragraphs of apologies and explanations, even our extended family got involved. There were tears, accusations, the whole 9 yards, like a Thanksgiving dinner fight but stretched over a week. My sister claimed I'd misunderstood what she said. My parents thought I was being cruel. My aunt suggested I was having some kind of breakdown and should see someone. But for once in my life, I stayed firm. I blocked most of them on my phone and focused on what really mattered, rebuilding the life I'd put on hold. First thing I did? Booked myself a 2-week trip to Paris. Not the knockoff Paris in Texas, but the real deal in France. It had always been my dream destination, and the irony wasn't lost on me that the money I'd saved from just 2 months of not paying my sister's bills covered the entire trip. My sister had to scramble fast. Within a month, she'd picked up 3 jobs, morning shifts at Starbucks, evening work at some clothing store at the mall, and weekend gigs doing DoorDash deliveries. Suddenly, the condition that had prevented her from working full-time before wasn't such a big obstacle anymore. The week before my Paris trip, I unblocked my family just long enough to send them a group text. Got my passport ready. Taking off for Paris next week. Will send pics. My mom replied with a cold, have a safe flight. Dad didn't respond. My sister sent a single thumbs-up emoji that somehow contained more passive aggression than a southern woman saying, bless your heart. Paris was everything I'd dreamed of and more. I ate croissants at little sidewalk cafes, took one of those cheesy pictures where it looks like you're holding up the Eiffel Tower, and even went on a date with this French dude who thought my American accent was charming. For the first time in 3 years, I felt like I could breathe. I posted a picture of myself on Instagram, smiling with a glass of wine by the Seine River, with the caption, finally living my own life. No regrets. Paris life. Updated. Damn, some of y'all in the comments are going hard on my sister. I get it, though. The way some of you described your own family situations has me feeling like we should start a support group or something. Thanks for having my back. Especially those who understood why I just dipped instead of giving her another chance. What's crazy is several people asked if I missed helping her or felt guilty afterward. Here's my honest question. At what point does taking care of yourself become more important than being someone's ATM, even if that someone shares your DNA? When I got back from Paris, I found out through my cousin that my sister had moved back in with our parents. Apparently, even with 3 jobs, she was struggling to cover her medical costs and rent. Part of me felt a twinge of guilt, but then I remembered her words. Loser with no personal life. 6 months later, I ran into my sister at Target. Talk about awkward. She looked tired, with dark circles under her eyes, pushing a cart full of store-brand everything. I was in the beauty section, testing out some fancy new moisturizer that cost more than I would have spent on myself back when I was bankrolling her life. Our eyes met across the aisle. For a second, I thought she might turn around and bolt. Instead, she walked over. Hey, she said, her voice small. Hey, I replied, suddenly super interested in the ingredients list on the moisturizer. You look good, she offered. Saw your Paris pictures. Looked amazing. I nodded. It was. There was this heavy silence between us, filled with 3 years of financial support and one devastating betrayal. I'm sorry, she finally said. What you heard? I was just showing off to my friends, being stupid. I put the moisturizer in my basket. Cool. Is that all you have to say? There was an edge to her voice now. I've been working myself to death for months, and all you can say is cool? I looked at her then, really looked at her. What do you want me to say? That I'm sorry you have to work like the rest of us? That I miss being your personal bank account? She flinched like I'd slapped her. That's not fair. I laughed, and it came out harsher than I meant it to. You know what's not fair? Spending 3 years of my life and thousands of dollars helping someone who thought I was a pathetic loser behind my back. A lady shopping nearby was pretending not to eavesdrop, but I could see her slowing down her shopping cart to catch our drama. Xia and Z. Sister's eyes filled with tears. I made one stupid comment. And it was honest, I said. That's the thing about slip-ups. They usually reveal the truth. I started to walk away, but she grabbed my arm. So that's it? 3 years of being sisters and you throw it all away over one comment? That stopped me cold. Is that how you see it? I didn't throw anything away. You did. The moment you decided that my sacrifices made me pathetic instead of loving. I left her standing there in Target, walked to my car, and sat there for a good 20 minutes just breathing. The weird thing was, I didn't feel angry anymore, just sad and oddly free. That night, I booked my next trip, a 2-week hiking adventure in the mountains. Something I'd always wanted to do but never had time for when I was juggling my job and my sister's medical coordination. It's been almost a year now since that day I overheard her phone call. My relationship with my family is still strained, but it's getting better in small ways. My parents have started to understand my side of things, especially after they've experienced firsthand what it's like to support my sister financially. As for my sister and me, we're not close anymore, probably never will be again, but last month she texted me a simple message. I get it now. I'm sorry it took me losing you to understand what you gave up for me. I didn't reply right away. I waited until I was sitting at the airport about to board a flight to Italy, another trip funded by the money I was no longer spending on her. I sent her a picture of my boarding pass with the caption, "The loser says ciao." She replied with a laughing emoji and touche. It wasn't forgiveness exactly, but it was something. A recognition, maybe, that we'd both learned some tough lessons. Updated. Reading through these comments has been wild, y'all. So many of you sharing your own family drama makes me feel like we're all just sitting around a bonfire, cracking open some Bud Lights and trading war stories. For those asking if I ever helped her out again, nope, that ship has sailed, hit an iceberg, and sunk to the bottom of the ocean. But I do wonder sometimes where we go from here. That last text exchange felt like something. Not sure what yet. So here's my final question for you guys. Do you think some relationships are worth rebuilding after they've been broken? Or are some betrayals just too deep to come back from? The thing about family is, they know exactly where to stick the knife to hurt you the most. But the thing about growing up is learning that you don't have to keep handing them the knife. These days, my passport has more stamps than my high school yearbook had signatures. I've started dating again. Nothing serious yet, but it turns out having time and money for yourself makes you a lot more interesting to potential partners. Sometimes, I wonder what would have happened if I hadn't stopped by her apartment that day, if I'd never heard what she really thought of me. Would I still be working overtime, skipping vacations, putting my dreams on hold to fund her life? Probably. So in a weird way, maybe I owe her a thank you. Her moment of cruel honesty forced me to face my own truth, that I'd been using her medical needs as an excuse to avoid living my own life. We were both using each other in different ways, I guess. The last time I saw her was at our cousin's wedding 3 months ago. She was working as a server at the reception, one of her many jobs. We made awkward small talk by the dessert table, and she told me she'd finally qualified for a medical assistance program that was helping with her treatment costs. That's great, I said, and meant it. Yeah, she nodded. Should have applied years ago, but... She trailed off, and I knew she was thinking that she hadn't needed to try other options when she had me. As I was leaving the reception, she caught up with me in the parking lot. Hey, she called. Are you happy now? With your life, I mean. I thought about it for a second, keys in hand. Yeah, I said finally. I am. She nodded, a small sad smile on her face. Good, she said. That's good. And it was. Not perfect, not fairy tale happy ever after, but good. Sometimes that's all you can ask for when you're rebuilding a life you put on hold for too long. So that's my story, folks. Sometimes the most ungrateful thing a sibling can say is the thing that sets you free, and sometimes the best revenge isn't getting even, it's finally living your life on your own terms. Next week, I'm heading to Japan. My sister knows because I still post everything on Instagram. She liked my packing for Tokyo post. I liked that she liked it. Small steps.